Before even reaching the camps, the kite runner author Khaled Hosseini was given a rousing welcome. The site was a village school built by the UN Refugee Agency to benefit the host population and to lessen the impact of large refugee numbers in areas where resources are scarce. Khaled Hosseini had sought to see one of UNHCR's largest operations since becoming a Goodwill envoy for the agency in 2006. The Kanungu camp is one of 12 UNHCR runs in eastern Chad. They provide shelter to some 200,000 refugees from Darfur. The camps have their own schools, medical clinics, and markets, but life here is still very basic. Families live in mud houses, cook over open fires, and collect water from communal pumps. But for the children and their parents, the camps provide something more valuable: safety from the violence devastating Darfur.
The purpose of my visit is to understand the situation in the camp.
Yaqub Hussein and his family fled their village in Darfur after it was attacked. For 2 months, they lived under a tree on the Chad-Sudan border until they were rescued by staff from the UN Refugee Agency.
What happened? What brought you here, and what happened to you back home, and how things have been for you since you arrived here?
We saw a man on the horses with the guns arrive to our village, and some people have marched. They burn the houses, and others shooting. And after that, we heard the sounds of the guns and the bomb of the helicopter machine guns, and Antonov also, the bullet, the bomb. After 3 days, we heard that they killed more than 40 people, and all the villagers, they left their village.
The violence that has consumed Darfur is now spreading to eastern Chad. Rebel groups are active in the region. Skirmishes with government soldiers are frequent. The growing insecurity was on everyone's mind when Hosseini met with Kanungu's latest arrivals. They came here in October 2006 after an attack on their village left 64 people dead, half of them children. Women, who must often venture beyond the security of the camp in search of firewood, faced even greater dangers. To help, UNHCR has introduced a stove which uses 80% less wood, allowing the women to make fewer trips outside the camp. Humanitarian work in the region is also being hampered. Organizations must now travel in a convoy and with a police escort.
This building is for curative services.
At the Mile refugee camp, Hosseini, a doctor himself, was shown the hospital facilities, which include a new operating room. During a recent surge in violence, doctors here were forced to treat injured combatants. The insecurity in eastern Chad is now being felt both inside and outside of the camps.
So can you tell me what the impact has been on the security, on the well-being of the humanitarian staff with the recent development of security problems here in the camp, in the region?
Following the guerrilla attack on the 1st of December, and after some week of real deterioration on the security, all the humanitarian agencies decide to reduce the presence of the staff. So we relocate most of our staff from guerrilla, and we have not been able to visit the camp as regularly we do. We normally try to be, every day in the camp. Both camp, Kanungu and Mile, are some about 20 kilometers from guerrilla. And it's very important for UNHCR to be in the camp to ensure the protection of the refugees. So what happened is, since the UN refugee agencies have not been able to visit the camp, we have been an increases violence in the camp. We got some reported cases of forced recruitment of some armed element in the camp. And we got also 2 refugees for the first time after 2 years in the camp of Kanungu. 2 refugees have been killed.
In addition to the more than 200,000 Darfur refugees now living in Chad, a further 2 million people are internally displaced within Darfur itself. For Hosseini, the visits to the Kanungu and Mile camps have provided valuable insights into the complexity of a conflict which has uprooted so many.
What I want people to understand is to understand the complex nature of the conflict here in Darfur and the looming humanitarian crisis as a result of the conflict in Darfur here in eastern Chad, and to also understand that the work that the UNHCR and other aid groups do here is absolutely vital to the survival of these people. So I encourage people to support UNHCR and other aid groups that are present here in eastern Chad so that they can continue to provide their vital services to the refugee population of Darfur.
While each refugee situation is different, in all cases, UNHCR promotes 3 long-term solutions. Voluntary return to their home country is the preferred outcome for most refugees. When that's not possible, restarting their lives in the country to which they first fled is an alternative. For a small minority who can't return home and can't stay where they are, resettlement to a third country, such as the United States, is the third solution.